If you play the keyboard for Pasuma, he will sing on it. When you change progression, it will change with you. There are some, when you put the keyboard there, you change progression, they don't know. They are just singing their own. K1, with all respect to him, all honor to him, a fantastic musician, but he doesn't have it as much as these guys I mentioned. Yeah. That's why I didn't mention his name. Because any other footballer. Messi is not human now. Messi is an alien. Don't you see? In fact, CR7, for me, he has achieved one of the greatest feats in life.
Which is?
By having himself being compared with Messi.
It is with great pleasure I welcome you on yet another episode of Random for this week. And trust me, on Random we have a guest that will blow your mind. Our guest is a known name, is a known face, and we want to check the world from his own views. Now we want to get to understand some more things about the world. Who is the person I'm talking about? You must have seen him in the snippet played earlier. He's a musician, he's a singer. He's an artist. He is he's a performer. He's a minister. He's a
music director,
composer. Yes, Ladies and gentlemen, no other person. He's a prince,
trumpeter.
Yes, prince. He's a trumpeter. Prince Goke Bajowa is my guest on the show today. You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. And then I really consider this a great honor. And I want to say, I love you all, to my fans out there. Thanks for loving us. Thanks for listening to us. God bless you all.
Amen.
Yeah.
Now, I've always struggled with the pronunciation of your name because I've had Bajowa.
Yes.
So which is the correct pronunciation?
It's Bajowa. And then it's actually the full complete pronunciation of it. The more complete way to pronounce it is actually Obajoluwa. It's an Ikale name. I'm an Ikale person. Yeah, so
Ikale is in Ondo State.
Ikale is in Ondo State, yeah. Not far from the Laje area, the water side part of Riverine. Yes, not far from that place. Though not exactly the same, still quite some distance apart, but close. So Ikale Okitubuwa is more like it, because Okitubuwa is actually part of Ikale too, So the part where I come from is like an extension of Okitubuwa further, southwards. Bajowa is Oba Joluwa. That is trying to say that how powerful, how mighty, the king is. Kingship is mightier, bigger, more powerful than the best you can have of any ordinary person. No matter how well behaved, no matter how well mannered, the king is still the king, something like that.
So, before now in Nigeria, we have our musicians, they are fond of different appellations. Emperor Peters, Admiral Dele Abiodun, General Collector, we have Barrister, Bishop. We have different people using different titles. So, normally when we hear a musician with an appellation like that, it's an assumption that is one of those titles. Are you a prince for real, or is just one of those King Sunny Ade?
Yes, I'm a prince for real.
Okay.
Yes, and then the Bajowa name is actually a royal name.
Okay.
This is the name of the entire royal family that bears that name, and then spanning to from generations from way back. You understand? The Bajowa name is one of the royal families ruling that kingdom.
Okay.
I think we're about 3 or 2. We have the Juba family, we have the Bajowa family, and I think it rotates between 2 or 3 like that. So presently, the Bajowa family is the present the royal family that is ruling now.
Wow.
And then of course the the present king of that place, which is Opa Goke Bajowa, is my uncle. Wow. He's my dad's elder brother. So anybody who comes from that family, that extended Bajowa family, is a prince. And then any female is a princess automatically, because the rulership of that place is, dominated by the Bajowa family and the other family too. Anyway, so it's not just an appellation, not just some like you adopt some title to make your name sound sweet. Actually, as a matter of fact, it was people who knew that I was a prince, or that I'm a prince, that stamped the name on me. You understand? Initially, when people started calling me prince, and stuff like that, I'm not the kind of person that wants to be seen that way. So I used to tell people, don't call me Prince Charlie, just look for something else. You understand? But people who knew, they never stopped.
Definitely.
They kept on. So at a point, I started realizing that I left them. And then I started realizing that people always want to put something to your name, add something, an appellation to your name. They don't want to just mention him like that. Especially when I'm being invited to stages for ministrations, for performances. They want to put something, and then
a sign of respect from this part.
You understand? So I just say, don't worry, just be calling it. Some people will say Pastor Goke, some will say Dr. Goke Bajowa, some will say all kinds of
evangelist, minister,
evangelist. Well, evangelist is more appropriate because the brand of Highlife that I play is characterized by gospel lyrics, and then is rooted in the gospel. Is actually gospel Highlife. If there's anything like that, so calling me an evangelist wouldn't be too far from it. You understand? It's more like it, So I left the prince thing like that. So, okay, don't worry, just be calling it. After all, I'm a prince, so okay, just let it be. And then I left it. So that was how that one just stayed like that.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Now you wear many hats. You are a singer,
yes,
a musician.
Yes.
I was telling someone that there's a difference between a singer and a musician.
A lot.
Many people don't know.
Yes.
You're a singer, you're a musician, you are a trumpeter, you're a music director.
Yeah.
All of these things sound similar, but not exactly the same thing.
Yes.
Now that I have the privilege of having a professional in the house, can we just quickly touch on these things and examine what are the differences so our people can learn?
Singer, when you say somebody is a singer, I think that's simple enough.
Yeah.
He sings. She sings. That's what he does. That's what she does, And then singing is just the art of singing, that activity of singing. Open your mouth, beautiful voice comes out. Manipulate your voice, make it, do it up and down and then back and forth, and then you sing something beautiful.
You're a singer.
That you're a singer. Now, when you are a musician, it goes further than just singing. As a matter of fact, you can be a musician and not be a singer.
Okay.
Yes. Musician in the sense that, so like for instance, people who play musical instruments now, they are musicians. Okay. And there are people who play instruments who don't sing. You see? And then a musician has deep understanding of music, how to make music, how music should go, what music is supposed to be, can determine when music is not properly done far better than a singer. A singer is not does not have the responsibility of knowing all these things as long as it's just a singer. But when you are a musician, or when you say you are a musicologist, which is a bit also different from a musician, it takes it a step further again. When you are either of those two, you are expected to know the nitty-gritties of how music should be done, the fundamentals of it. You get it? Of how music is made, of how it should go, of how it's not supposed to be done. Musicians can correct singers when they are singing, even though such a musician might not even be able to sing. But when the singer is singing something wrong and you are a musician that knows what he's doing, you can tell the musician, the singer, no,
you are not getting it.
Try it this way. You understand? you know, and then there are lots of things that goes into that.
No, as you're saying it now, it's just, I'm just trying to reminisce. I remember some days back then in the choir, I said, so he actually does not really need to know how to sing.
No. It doesn't have to be. Like I've had situations like that where people will come up and say, and they'll be condemning their music director. They'll be condemning their song coordinators that she won't take one, you don't take choir and she one of those things on loan score if you want to you understand? As a music director, you don't have to. You know, as a musician, a music director is a musician. A music director is essentially a musician. You know, it doesn't have to know how to sing.
So that means
it's not compulsory. However, if he knows how to do it, it's an added advantage. But it's not compulsory. That is not his job. But when you are not doing it right, he should be able to tell you are not doing it right, and then look for something to use, to illustrate to you, to explain to you in a way that you will understand. You know, so it's more of a technical thing, breaking it down, the theory of it, you know, merged with the practicality of it. Find a balance between the two, you know, and then factor in your position there.
I can liken it to a football coach.
Something like that.
So you may not be able, not necessarily be able to play, or a boxing coach. You may not be able to really get on the stage. But he can tell you, say, guy, he can
tell you, this is the best way to win a game. If you want to win, this is how you do it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So with this description you just gave me now, I'm just trying to consider our Afrobeat, our contemporary artists. Okay. And that means a lot of them are singers. Because I think the people that are really the ones who can call musicians are the producers.
Yes, really. And then you know the funny thing. The Afrobeat people, they're actually supposed to be good singers. You know, they are supposed to be singers. They are supposed to be. But ironically, as the way we have it in our country today, I don't know what the cause of it is. So, and I don't want this to sound somehow, but that's just the truth. You know, there are some truths. There's no way you can know that way. Many of them are not even singers.
So what
I don't know, because it is because of the people don't know lots of these things, because there are ones who are good singers, you know, but there are also many who are not. And then when you listen to them live, that's when you will know. But without you doing that, you will never understand, because the technology we have today, the technology that we use to produce music today, you know, all these gadgets, all these softwares, all these apps that we use, they work like magic. They can make you sound like an angel when you are actually far from it. You understand? Yeah. And so lots of people don't know these things. You understand? But it's just the truth. You know, however, they are still singers. At least, even if they are not, it happens everywhere. Not only in the one we call Afrobeat today. Not only that, it happens in other genres too. You know, it happens, but it's rampant in that space that we call the Afrobeat space, because there are too many fake things there, and that's why you see sometimes when you see professional, real musicians, they don't really want to take time to really assess or analyze, because they know that there are too many things that are not natural. Music is supposed to be an expression of art. It is artistic. It has to be something that is natural with you. You know, it has to be creative, and then the delivery of it should be, 80% at least natural. But you see, the reverse is the case now in the Afrobeat space now. You know, it's 20% natural and 80% plastic. So you don't even know who is who. 10 artists are singing. You listen to their songs, their works. You can't tell the difference, because they are all sounding the same. Because they applied the same what's it called now? Auto-tune enhancements, all kinds of enhancements, and then not only auto-tune, there are so many different ones that has different names. You know, that have different names. So all those things you can never really. You see, there's this thing about uniqueness that stands you out from every other person. God is so perfect with those things. He did it so well that no matter how similar to somebody else you sound, it can never be exactly the same thing. There will be something that people will use to know that this is. But now when you remove that naturality and put too much plasticity in it, everything becomes the same. So you can't really tell. So the identity of you, the uniqueness of you, the peculiarity of you is lost. So where's the art there? Where's the expression? Where's the originality? It's not there again.
Wow.
That's
that. I remember during COVID, everybody was doing live session. There's one very popular musician called Boye in Seven and his protege. They tried a live session like that and it was a disaster. Goke Bajowa beat in Lolarin. How did you come son you already know what I'm talking about, but I will not mention his name. Call me. Yeah, okay, let me just go. So now for you, which one came first for you? Were you first you're an instrumentalist too?
Yes.
So which one came first for you? Was it singing?
Of course.
Was it instrumentation? Which one came first for you and how did it start?
Yes, it was the singing. It was the musicianship first and then singing followed. Because I remember that before I really became a notable singer, such that when you hear me sing, you could say, this guy is singing, or this guy knows how to sing, or this guy is trying, he's okay. I had already gotten to the ages of like maybe 6, 7. Wow. But before that time, when I was like 4, 5, I hadn't really started singing like that. When the child is just singing, just blabbing, just do, all kinds of, even though you would be able to say, I'm headed at Uvumarinko, but, you know that it's still a monkey, you can't really tell, as at that time, that age. So, before that time, when I was 4, 5, I could remember that I had been doing things like listening to music and being able to see, listen in a way to be able to notice that there were some things that were not right. There were some things that maybe it was my own feeling, maybe I wasn't right, then maybe I was wrong. But there was a way I would listen to music and I would be like, why not? Why didn't they do it this way? Why did the song sound this way? At this point, why didn't they have this particular thing come in there? Why was it this one that they had there? All those things. My thoughts.
People would likely say that's the curiosity of a child. That
something like
just,
that.
Curious about something.
So at that point, I could say I was already a musician. You understand? Paying attention to details like that before I started singing. So maybe in my mind, or in my spirit, I was already singing, but I wasn't singing it out so much that people could hear and say. So when I was when I got to the ages of like 7, thereabout, I started singing, and then somebody could hear me and say, Boye ain't calling you. I wouldn't try. It's good. So, and then
sorry, let me quickly ask a question. I don't want to cover. I don't want to forget.
Okay.
Now, that's your ability that you noticed at that very early age.
Yeah.
Do you think, was it genetically transferred? Do you pick it from your dad, your mom, or do you come from a family of musicians so you can say, okay, this is where, or is it as an inborn thing?
I think it's more of an inborn thing, though.
Okay.
Because when you look at my family, my mom and my dad especially, there is none of them that did music at that level. There was even none of them that really understood music like that. My mom was even worse. My dad was not bad. I think my dad was at some point was with the choir in his local church then, on all those ancient Anglican churches from our town, So, and then he used to, once in a while, when I hear him sing, I would hear him try to do some harmonies when he's just singing, casually, and then I have an idea what he's trying to do, even though maybe not doing it well, or too many, microtones or flat notes in his, okay, that's the idea. So it wasn't maybe average, but my mom, nothing. She not sabi anything.
You remind me of my mom. Anytime we are doing morning devotion, you give us some. What's the one where you actually daru? What's our call beat? You follow beat down, babo. You just sing off. I think is that thing is if you it was later I got to realize that there's something called being tone deaf. Because sometimes we
sincerely speaking, so my mom was, something close to that, and then So the two of them, none of them was really a music person like that, or anybody who knew how to sing like that. My siblings were average too, and maybe a little above average. Some of them, we used to sing while we were small, when we were children at home. As a family, at least 3 or 4 of us used to sing. We'll be singing, everybody will be singing, and then. But I was the one that was always standing out. I was the one leading. I was the one composing the songs. I was the one doing everything. All the people will be singing. I'll be doing, some other things to, improvise, and everybody knew that this one is the musician amongst us. You understand? The others were not bad too. As a matter of fact, if you compare them to other people outside, you say, these ones, they can sing very well. You understand? Because I know of people who can be very, very terrible at singing.
Yeah, so.
My family was not like that. My siblings weren't like that. At least all of them could perform averagely. Maybe a little above average. So that was how my family was. And then the way I just stood out with music was something that sometimes I even wonder, where did I get this from? Even the generation before me in my family, nobody was singing. The only people who were musicians in that were related to me were not close relatives. They were distant relatives. There's one guy from the Juba family. The other family that I said was also a royal family. There's one guy called Juba, Crossdale Juba. He was the same age category with the likes of Victor Laya, Victor Waifu, Eddie Okonta, maybe. All those, and then he was one of them too. He used to play Highlife. He was a trumpeter too. And he had fantastic, songs that he did. Composed nice songs. He was a musician in all those periods. He played used to play people like Rex Lawson. The kind of the genre of Highlife that he used to play was very similar to the type that used to come from the eastern part of the country, south, from Edo downwards. Victor Waifu, Rex Lawson, all those people, very similar. So that was one of the people that were, and we're actually related by blood, but from the generations, if we count it backwards, will be like maybe 5th or 6th generations. So not it's actually a distant relative, not a close relative. Crossdale Juba, and then he died very young. If he was alive now, if he were to be alive now, it would be like around 80 years old now. Yes, it would be very old by now, 80 plus. So, and then the second person was that woman they called Comfort Omoge. Ọlọ́run mi, ìwọ ni màá sìn títí ayé mi, àmín o.
Ikale, yes, that's true. It's Ikale. I remember that he sings with our dialect.
That's the dialect. That's all. If you hear any songs like that, it's from our, dialect. All the kinds of songs that came from that side. There are lots of Ikale songs that people are doing, kind of doing covers for now over the social media now. Once you listen to it, you will know. Like there was one I heard recently. Ebute Muboko Yiu, something like that. All those were Crossdale Juba songs anyway. And then so Comfort Omoge too was a distant relative from my father's side, and then her mother's side were related. I think one of my grandparents was either a younger brother or younger sister to one of the, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
So it was actually related. She was like an aunt, a distant aunt. Comfort Omoge, another fantastic musician. So those were the only people. So no direct relationship by blood, as to somebody who came from that exact Bajowa family that I could say, this one was where I got it from. You understand? So for me, it's just like when you say that God just decides to just do something unusual. That's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. And then my inclination towards music, my understanding and everything that I know about music, they are very, very peculiar to me. Yeah, very, very. Not like what many other people know, So that again is another reason why I think that God was just deliberate about it. You understand? Regardless of wherever I was coming from, this is just you.
You mentioned something the other time, Highlife. So I don't want to assume that is the genre of music you play. Or how do you describe your kind of music?
My kind of music is a fusion of Highlife.
Okay.
Highlife at the center, and then fused or infused with other African, or no, not African, Nigerian, southwestern Nigerian genres, like the kind of folks that we do.
Okay.
In the part of country where I come from, Ikale, all those Highlifes, like the one I mentioned the other time, I have lots of songs like that. Those are, we have, I have Baba Mukepe, the Joke Dami. That's lamentation.
Do you have a very close, I don't say, is affinity the right word now, with reggae music?
Yeah.
I've been at
that's another side of me.
Yeah, I've been at a particular praise concert where you sang for like 45 minutes.
Yes, and I did reggae.
It was reggae all through.
I'm even coming. I'm coming to that. Yeah.
It was mind blowing.
So I was. And then you would wonder why I don't do much of that. Yeah. I'll be coming to that, and I think that's very important. People need to hear this. About not just reggae, other genres too, that people can understand how these things work. Now, so we're talking about what was the last question?
I was like, okay, I asked you about your music, your kind of music.
Okay, now it's a fusion of Highlife and some folklores.
Okay.
Folk songs from the side of the part of Ondo State, the part of the southwest where I come from. And our folklores are very similar to the kind of folks that they do from some parts of Edo State down to south area, other south areas like Port Harcourt and all those places. If you listen to Victor Waifo, you see all those Joromi, all those very similar. Actually, if you check the history, we are very, very closely related. Yeah, Benin Empire and the Ikale,
yes.
Very, very. A lot of, in fact, some people say we are the same, Now, so and then I also have another one that is a bit different, also Highlife at the center, and then fused or infused with genres from Ogun State, Egba, especially the likes of Iwokolodami, the likes of Arira, Bubuwala Arira wa, Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ṣorí gbèsè. That's
like four of your songs already.
So, and then there is one too.
Did you stay or live in Egba at any point?
No. I didn't. But I listened a lot to certain musicians from that side.
Okay.
Those were sources of lots of my inspirations. The likes of Jimmy Sholanke, Tunji Elano, Akib Karim,
Black Man,
Yusuf Olatunji, all those places, all those people, they influenced me a lot. I used to listen to them a lot. So their ideas, their thinking, their mindsets subconsciously got into me. So all those songs like if you listen to all these you see all those are Egba folk songs. You understand? So I was influenced a lot by. That's where you hear the likes of from me. Those were the influences. Those were the songs that influenced the mindsets that influenced me. So I actually fell in love with Egba people by reason of the songs that I fell in love with. Some of the musicians that I grew up listening to. When they used to play Tunji Elano back then, bọ́wọ́ mi bá tẹ̀ ẹ́ ò kẹràn bọ́wọ́ mi bá tẹ̀ ẹ́ wà ríran ọmọ alágàrà mo lọ sóko mo bólú
I love
wọ́n ní all those songs. Sura di tailor is your man.
I like that. No, Jimisolake is, I don't know how to describe it.
You know, I love my country, I no go lie. Now inside them, you know, all those songs. Those were they were rooted in the, you know, the cultural and musical peculiarities of the Egba people, deeply rooted. So I used to listen to them a lot. They influenced me. So that's another side of me. But you see that both sides now, there's Highlife at the center. And then I drifted towards the Egba side, but still having Highlife at the center. The other one, I drifted towards the Kale side. Highlife at the center, because you are still going to hear the guitar works. You still have the progressions, and then the way the guitars will pick their notes, the way the songs are scored, the harmonies, you will see Highlife there.
But there's something about your songs. I don't know how to say it. Whether it's reggae, whether it is Afro. If I hear your instrumentation, I know it's you.
You know, yeah. That's because
I know it's you. I don't know why.
You know why? You know why? You won't be able to explain it because there is something that you carry that you might not know that enabled you to be able to understand it and know that, you know, there's a part of you that agrees with me in a way that you can't explain. That thing is like when you are talking about chemistry. You understand? You know, when people talk about body chemistry, there's chemistry in music understanding too. You understand? There's no way you will hear the works of somebody that has the same chemistry with you in some areas that you'll not be able to say. After every 10 of such, you'll be able to pick like 7 or 8 as this one is.
Because from the instrumentation, I say,
you know, there's a way I use certain notes, certain phrases, certain combinations, certain ranges, you know, that subconsciously you had mastered it. You had because there's a way it resonates within you. There's something you enjoy about it, such that if you were put in that same shoe, you would have done the same thing if you had the music knowledge I had or I have, you know. So naturally, it will just come to you that way. You say this one.
That is why it was easy for me when I had John Drill's song. You dey make me dance the reggae dance. The moment I had it,
this is sounding like Goke Bajowa.
I'm sure that somebody else must have mentioned that.
Of course, lots of people called me
because I was like, no, this one is very plain.
But you know, that's more like even if they had any of my song to do that, which is possible and which might not even be the case. You understand? They could have heard it from another song that had the same flavor. You understand? So that's what we call sampling. Somebody could sample something out of somebody else's song and bring something entirely different out. But few people who have that inclination will still know. You are one of those few people. And like every other person who saw it too, there will be lots of people outside there who will not even know. So when you are talking and you're saying, this is sounding like, you'll be like you are the only one who knows what you are saying. In fact, some people will look at you and say, what's this one saying?
Could that be the case for blackface?
Well,
you know, blackface has accused almost everybody of sampling. And sometimes when you hear it, because I've had the same argument before, that some people say if you listen very well, you will know that this man is quite, he understands what he's saying. But me at the hearer, I say, I know,
so if you are not inclined in that line, you might not know. People who are inclined along that line, they will feel the same thing you are feeling now, you are seeing now, that they are not seeing, they will see it in that other case. So it's very possible. However, in their own matter, you know, there are some things that went under the scene, behind the scene, that were not songs that we heard, were just ideas, unfinished ideas that never really started. That it was just, I sang this one, it was just it was maybe still on paper, maybe just singing it, and then they hadn't even given it any identity in terms of recording or form. You understand? But that already programmed it up there. So matters like that is difficult because we don't have anything to represent what he was saying. So maybe not. You understand? So that's why it is, you know, complex. So I was talking about the genres the other time, and then there's another one. It's still Highlife, but there's some contemporary feels, like something a bit Western. Still having Highlife at the center.
Is that
yes,
Western by any chance?
Highlife, no, it's not. But I bring something, some Western feels
Elements.
in terms of instrumentations. You understand? Elements, yes. Some things that when you hear them, you see this one is a bit foreign, and then it's still Highlife. You understand? So I can play around with Highlife a lot. You know, I do that a lot, and then you can see there are some ones when you listen to it, you see you could feel some fella, some Afro. The typical Afro. That's not. I'm not talking about the one they call Afro beat now. Not Afro, proper Afro. You see it. You know, I have some song like that. It's an Afro song. It's Highlife at the center. And then I could put a bit of jazz into it. You understand? Especially when I get to my solos and some other things. But you still see that this thing is revolving around Highlife. Especially when you look at the position of my claves and some, you know, the time signature, you will see that this is Highlife. You understand? And then the guitar chords too, you know. But so it will drift between Highlife and a bit of, but at the center, mostly you see Highlife there. So that's why I said it's always a fusion of Highlife and other things, mostly African, mostly Nigerian, Southwestern. Now, the reggae thing you were talking about.
Yeah.
You see reggae. I love reggae so much. I used to listen to Bob Marley too. That's another side of me. And then not much of Lucky Dube. Lucky Dube's reggae doesn't appeal to me really. You know, it's too monotonous, too one way. You understand? Not as versatile, not as wide as Bob Marley's, you know, kind of reggae. So, the reason why I am hindered a lot of times to play reggae in performances, number one, is because our audience are not, you see, you need to be careful with our audience. When they know you with one thing, you had better try to stay on it as long as possible. Drift away a little and come back fast. Don't stay too, otherwise they will misrepresent you. They will be like, you know, they're already expectant of something and they can't celebrate something that is different but still beautiful. Once you don't give them what they are expecting. That's the kind of audience we have. Only few are versatile. They listen to you on rock, on reggae, on R&B, on Highlife. They still like you for everything. They say, wow. They can pick it. Sing a song for just 2-3 minutes. They already know it's a good song. No. These ones, you have to sing it over and over and over before they begin to appreciate. They can't appreciate for songs at first glance. You understand? That is the kind of audience we have. So you have to be careful. Number two, which is the most important, the one I say people need to hear. You see, the way our sound people used to set sound, especially in this Ibadan, many times their distributions and the instruments they give priority to, it makes it difficult for you to play any other thing other than Alujo and Tungba. You understand?
I think
you want to play Highlife, go, it's difficult. You will need to ask them to reset many things before you can play. Yeah, there will be a lot of things you will ask them to reset before you can manage it to play Highlife. You understand? You know, there are some instruments. The peculiarities of lots of music sits in the preference you give to certain instruments that define that kind of music. Yeah. For instance, you want to play reggae now. You need your hi-hats. Your hi-hats need to be doing. You need to be hearing that hi-hat. But when our people set their sound, the best you will have on your drum set is 2 microphones. One on the snare drum, one on the kick, on the bass drum. You understand?
Yeah.
No mics on the toms, no overhead mic for the cymbals. Let's even leave those ones. At least give me a third mic on the hi-hat so that the snare drum can have its own and the hi-hat can have its own separate, so that we can pick the hi-hats and then it can drive the music. But no, it is the microphone of the snare drum that they will be using to mic. It's the same mic that they'll be using to mic the hi-hat. Those two items are, even though it's the same drum set, but they are on different frequencies. And then again, it will never be close to the hi-hat. It will be closer to the snare drum because that is the major one. So sometimes you don't even hear the hi-hat. If you are lucky to have a shekere or a tambourine, somebody else playing, it will cover for that, that space that hi-hat is supposed to cover. But in the case you don't have it, you don't have the hi-hats.
And when you don't have that,
and you want to play reggae, how would you play it? That's one. Number two, the bass drum, that one that make the one that making key, that is the kick. Lots of times, once they have the talking drum, they don't care. Sometimes the microphone is not even working, they just put it there. Sometimes it's working, it's not sounding like the proper way it should sound. It just bow, bow. You understand? So all those sounds, those are the things that define reggae. And then you can't play reggae without a bass guitar. Sometimes they even set up, you don't see bass guitar there. No bass guitar on the stage. It's the keyboard that they will be using to play, because many artists, when they come, they just split and then they don't even come with bassists. You understand? Some you even come, you give them, they say, I felt low bass guitar, set it. They will say we don't have channel for it. They will say oti heavy my bar speaker waje. When they even connect it, they will just bring it low, and then one fisori speaker connect back on. Koni surround which you surround you know all those things, and you cannot play reggae without bass.
I remember the bass line for stir it up. The bass line is mad.
Imagine that song without a bass line. It won't be it. You are not playing the song, you are playing something. It's not reggae anymore. So imagine these three things I talked about. Now, the other things, I just picked these ones. The keyboard is still there again. Keyboard, in any music, your keyboard must be everywhere. But you see, this mindset that every instrument cannot be everywhere, we separate it. This percussionist said they don't want this here. This man said they want only this one here. All those things. There are some instruments, no matter what, they have to be everywhere. Keyboard especially, number one. Maybe in different quantities, different measures, not at the same level everywhere, but keyboard must sound stereo. It must come from all angles. How do you even know when a particular voice is not tuned or is tuned? How do you know when your backups are not tuned if your keyboard is not sounding stereo? This God that gave us 2 ears is not a fool. He knows we need these ears to balance. It's just like binocular vision. What you will see with one eye, you will see better with 2 eyes, because it will match the depth from different. If you did physics, you know what I'm talking about. It will match the depth from different angles, and then it will give you the proper perspective of where the object really is. It's different from one eye. The same thing, the way the ears work, you'll be able to know the exact frequency that your sound is when you are hearing from 2 sides. That's why the floor monitors are always 2. You understand? But you see, when our people set sound, they could put keyboard on one side, you will not hear it from the other side. So sometimes you are even going flat, especially if the keyboard is not even loud at all, and then you don't even know you are already off the key by almost a semitone. Sometimes before you know that you are already going flat.
Sorry for the laugh. You get one guy where they see for TikTok these days. Shout out to Authority. I don't know that bros. I don't know even at this sense way they talk about it. But that Egbon, now very bulky guy like this, he wears white garments. And even see me when say musician gone, I'm not a musician, but think about love key abi beat mo dam. Egbon ya kan ma lọ́wọ́ tí wọ́n
ó dẹ̀ modulate lọ ti.
Ó dẹ̀ kọrin lọ.
Ó ti kọrin kí bí mẹ́rin.
Kí adé máa parọ́. Àìgbà ní Authority. Ẹ má bà tèmi jẹ́ pẹ̀lú kọ́kọ́rọ́.
Actually, you see that problem. There are lots of people like that. Yes.
Musicians.
Even the established musicians, the very good ones that the very popular ones. Let me use the very. There are some of them are like that, and then, there is nobody who is pitch perfect. I'm coming to that. Nobody. However, you see, when you have an environment where the sound is very good, it covers these lapses many times. Yeah. Such that, but if you listen properly, you'll be able to pick that this person has the tendency to go flat, to sing, to go overtones, to all those things. All those things. You will, if you are a very patient listener, you take your time and you know this thing, you will know that just any bad boss will sound that you are okay. But you know, one way or the other, they find themselves on, because of the level, the platforms where they are playing, it's difficult for you to see a place where the sounds are not good. Maybe one mistake, one technical thing just happened, like a mistake in the sound. You will see it. What happened? What happened today? It has always been like that, but you just didn't notice because of the kind of platform they've been ministering. However, people who knew it had always known it. Yeah. So there are lots of people like that. That's what I'm trying to say now. Who are like that, singers, you know. And then one thing or the other, Umambo, Ashiri, just taking over same place, Ashiri Matu. Now, you see, there is nobody who is pitch perfect.
You said that earlier.
Yeah. Kusentoni perfect pitch. Many people who sing, and you see these ones, they don't go flat. They don't sing flat notes. They are pitch perfect. They are really not pitch perfect. Yes, they sing notes that are either, you know, flat or sharp, flattened or sharper than the precise notes too, you know. But they don't stay on it for too long. They do their little drift away and come back. You know why? It is very important for you to be, not to be tone deaf, to be aware, to be alert about tones. When you are going off, you should know that something is wrong, and then you find your way back. But the problem with this kind of people we are talking about is that they don't even know.
When you talk about this, it's like you can see it.
When they are going off,
it's like you are seeing it.
Yes, I'm actually seeing it. When they are going off, they don't know that they are going off, so they continue. If there was something in them that would tell them, even though they can't define what it is exactly, but there's something that tells them, that we can you balance, and then you try to find what is. You see that caution of I can't go further from this point unless this thing is corrected. You see, it will drop the enthusiasm, it will drop the zeal, the excitement, and when that drops, then your tendency of going further off will reduce because you are not excited anymore. Because excitement itself, again, is another. When you are too excited, you can misbehave on matters of pitch stability, staying on the key and staying on it. When you are too excited, you can go off easily. That's another reason why these things happen. And then there are other reasons too that we might not be able to talk about, like the keyboard matter I was talking about. If your monitors are not working well, and then your keyboard is low, and then maybe something that is louder than the keyboard is one guitar, and then if you are, you know, unlucky enough to have one guitarist that does not know how to tune the guitar well, playing, and is the one that is loud in your ears, he will take you off, you follow him, you go off, and you won't even know because you are not even hearing the keyboard. Sometimes the keyboards are bad. The keyboards they are not tuned. Maybe one or two ICs are not working well, or the ones that have been spoiled by high current or high voltage, whatever, and then some things have spoiled there, and then they strike one note, and then the note will not be stable, to be increasing pitch, and then.
But do you know that?
So that one too is another problem.
But you know that not many musicians, not many artists, singers,
artists. Okay.
Not many people know these things. Because I can tell you for a fact that all these things you are saying, sincerely, if we assemble 10 musicians, I can bet it with you that I can place my money and bet it that 5 of them don't know most of these things you are saying.
Well, there are people who know these things. There may be a lot who don't know it, you know, but there are some people, and when you see them, when you just take your time to listen to them, or you study them, you follow them for a while, you will know that these people know their song. Even in their songs, you will know when people like Dusin, people like Nathaniel Bassi, people like Chigozie Wisdom, you know, all those guys. They are Kenny Corey, they are musicians. They know all these things. They know all these things. Just listen to them. Listen to from the way they put their songs together, and you will know. They know all these things I'm talking about. You understand? And then there are other people that I might not even, remember now. So there are people who know it. And of course, there are lots and lots who don't know.
But do you think some of our superstars, do you think they know this thing?
There are many of our superstars who don't know it, of course.
Some of our superstars may not know this, but their producers cover up for them.
Well, not producers anyway, because when you are talking about producers, that's within the context of studio production.
Yeah.
And maybe some of them have them who they also come out to, with them to performances, to ministrations, and so maybe, but within this context, I could call them directors, music directors on stage. So they don't, many of our people, I've mentioned some people who know it, and there are others too that I might not even know them, or I don't even remember to mention them, who knows these things too. But there are lots who don't know it, regardless of how big, how much of superstar they are. They don't know, but they don't really have to know.
Okay.
Yes, it's
Why?
not compulsory. As long as their job is to sing, they are artists, perform, do good ministration for us, give us good songs, sing for us very well. There are other people who are experts in that area. That is their own job. So you have them in your band, you have them in your team. So they are the ones who would help you when those things are needed. You understand?
Yeah.
Though if you know it yourself, it's an added advantage, which is very good. You understand? But if you don't know it, like many of our people don't know, it's not. It shouldn't be much of a problem. Once you have somebody who is a director in your team, who can also always call your attention, or stand in a position to caution you when you are going off, when you are doing all these things, who can listen properly and see that there is a problem somewhere, then there's a way he can signal to you and let you know, that something is going wrong. Go do this, don't do this, all those things. So that person stands in the position of somebody who is directing your music at that point. Like you have music directors, for choirs. Somebody who is directing you could stand in one corner.
I think gospel musicians tend to have more of this than secular.
Yes. Gospel music that's where we are doing the proper music. Yes, gospel music requires it, and it has the standards are there. Gospel music is more, we do more of proper music in gospel. You understand? And then it's very wide. It's hard. We have lots of varieties. I'm talking about church music now, not not just being an artist now. That is the totality of gospel music. If you enter, church settings now, and you want to be listening to choirs, you can imagine the varieties of music that you are going to be hearing choirs doing. All kinds of genres from all over the world. You understand? So that music at that level requires, lots of professionalism, expertise in all areas, directing and all those things. So it's needed because music is more difficult to do in the church setting, in the church space. Far more difficult than the secular in Nigeria today. The secular is almost predictable. You can tell. You understand? The likely things that you are going to
So
hear.
what are the advantages that you think the secular have? Because in terms of delivery, in terms of acceptance, I think I would believe that the secular seems to have an advantage.
Yes, they have. Yes.
Is it the lyrics? Is it the message now, or the what's it called? You mentioned earlier.
There are two
the
reasons.
artificiality enhancement and everything.
Yes. Now, number one, the production, the enhancements that they put in their production, the things that are not natural but that are sweet to hear, that they put there. All these things, as sweet as they are, as they drive some people, as much as they drive some people crazy, there are some people who don't like it. When you see proper musicians, it's sweet, but they know it's not the real thing. You understand? So those enhancements that makes the items sound beautiful, the clean sound, and I give kudos to those producers. Those guys, they actually they put in their best, a lot of research, get materials, and give quality sound. I give it to them. So sometimes you hear an artist, and then when you hear the artist live without any enhancement, and you compare what's on the CD, you'll be like, wow, how come, how manage? No, possible, but only what is magic see? So those enhancements make their music, far more accepted. You understand? That's number one. Number two, the audience, the kind of mind that consume the music. You understand? We have more of those average musically minded or average minded people musically. We have more of them in our country than people who are above average. The ones who are above average in terms of consuming music, they don't appreciate all those things that much. They would rather prefer to hear you naturally. Everything that is like enhancement and all those plastic things, all those artificial things should be minimal. More of. They prefer it that way. They don't deceive themselves. They know it is an art. It should be expressed. We should see the naturality in it. But because we have more of the other type of people there, so music, the kind of music that we dish out, that have all those enhancements, you understand, they tend to sell more. Just like the eateries that we have now, all those eateries where we eat all those, fried rice and chicken and all those
what's it called now? Snacks.
There are some environments, all those things, they sell a lot there than buka. The kind of buka where me and you like to eat amala and we do, and all those, and momo, all those things that are natural, that we love, iru, and all those things. There are some environments, people like us, we are not many there. You understand? But when you give them all those fast food stuffs with the ketchups, with the all those things, they sell more there. Those ones are not natural, they are artificial. But the kind of people that live there,
that's what they want.
That's what they want. So if you use Nigeria as that kind of sample space, we have many more people who appreciate artificial things. It's because of the mind they carry. So people who have above average minds in terms of consuming music, they are not as many as. You understand?
In this conversation, where do you put Fuji musicians?
Fuji is is one of the genres that we have in Nigeria. Fuji is rooted in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Is what is the word now? It is indigenous to us here, and Fuji is fantastic music.
Do we consider them musicians now or singers?
Well, it depends. It depends on what they know. It depends on, for instance, somebody like Pasuma, for me, is not just a singer. He has attributes of a musician too. Yeah. He understands music beyond just singing. Somebody like Sikiru Ayinde Barrister, too. Those are the two that I have seen. Because there are some elements in their music. When you listen to them closely, you will see some things that they do. They might not understand what they are doing, but you will see that there's something in them that they do that is beyond what other artists do. Other artists in their category, in their genre. Like for instance now, Pasuma, when Pasuma sings, he can not only sing with percussions, he can also sing along when you are playing the keyboard. If you play the keyboard for Pasuma, he will sing on it. When you change progression, it will change with you. There are some, when you put the keyboard there, you change progression, they don't know, they are just singing their own. The progression is not matching their song, they are just singing, they don't even know anything is wrong. Some, they go off, they are not even on the key, they don't know.
Some of them just play safe and just stick to the percussion where they want to.
So it's better you don't even give them a keyboard at all, because they won't follow it. Or they can't follow it. If you change the key, you are playing for Pasuma, you change your key, it will follow you to the next key you went to. Many others, they don't even know your key has changed. They They can sing flat notes from morning till night.
No, I was expecting you to mention a name, but I've not had the name. K1 does it.
Well, K1, with all respect to him, all honor to him, a fantastic musician, but he doesn't have it as much as these guys I mentioned. Yeah, even though he uses it more, he tries to bring it into, and I give that to him because like he's the one that actually this innovation of bringing guitars and bass guitar, solo guitars or saxophone into Fuji. Yes. He did that, tried to bring it into Fuji and then tries to sing on it. I know. In fact, he's the one that does it more than every other person. But he abuses progressions. Yeah. There are many times when he's singing, the progressions have changed. He's not changing. He's just singing. The movements have changed. He's not changing. He's just singing. So he's trying to, at least he has that innovation, that mindset, and then he does it a little too, but not as much as these two guys I'm talking to you about. Even in Pasuma's composition, when he composes his own songs, you will see that he's factoring in chord progressions into compositions. I'm not sure you have seen.
I'm trying to.
If you try to, he doesn't do it too often. Once a while, like K1 does it many times. Pasuma doesn't do it all the time, but anytime he does it, go and look for any sort. Even on his hard lips, you will see when he's doing his hard lips, people are singing background, the choir, the backups, they're singing, and then he's doing hard lips. You will see all his hard lips. He will maintain whatever progression. When the chords are resolving, he's resolving his voice too. You will have he will come out, he will land on that note. You understand? And he's still singing Fuji. All these Fuji scales are still there. And he's very, very tuned. He doesn't go off. Maybe he does it a little. Everybody does that, really. But just a little, not much. And he doesn't stay long there. He comes back before long. He sings precise notes. Interesting to know. Yes. So another person that is close to him is Sikiru Ayinde Barrister in that regard. In fact, Sikiru Ayinde Barrister, I listened to some of his songs and I saw him doing some kinds of changing from the normal Fuji scale, that one that sounds like blues. It's close to blues, and then sometimes it sounds like some Arabian scales. That is Fuji. And then from that point, he moved to the relative minor of where he was singing, and he came back again. When I interpreted it, that was what he did. But I didn't. He wouldn't know that was what he was doing. But he actually did it. Let me give you a very good example of what I'm talking about. Look at what Ayuba did with Bale Ileyi Eweso, Iyale Ileyi Eweso, Ododo kan nbe lágbàlá tí a fẹ́ já. Òdòdó kan ń bẹ lágbàlá tí a fẹ́ já o. Ọmọdé yìí dára púpọ̀ jù, máa fi ṣáya. Ògbéke yìí lẹ́wà púpọ̀ jù, dára nílé. Bàlẹ́ eléyìí ẹ̀wẹ̀so. Bàlẹ́ eléyìí ẹ̀wẹ̀so. That was the modulation. Bàlẹ́ eléyìí it changed the key. The same song. We started with Bàlẹ́ eléyìí ẹ̀wẹ̀so, and then it changed to Bàlẹ́ eléyìí something like that. I don't remember how the magnitude of that accent. I don't even remember, but it changed the key. The same song, but there was no keyboard underneath anyway. It was just percussions. So there was no proper way to establish it. But if you know what we are talking about, you will see that he actually modulated, and he came back again. Kila mi she, Tafik Boba, he came back. Iyawo la mi, show me, oh, riba mi. So something like that was what I said I had seen Barrister do severally. He did it severally. It was not even just under modulation. Sometimes it was to the relative minor of whatever key he was singing on and came back. But of course, he might not be able to spell it out and say, this is what I was doing. But he had it here. That was why he could do it. So Barrister is another person that was close to, that had something, very close to what they want Pasuma, has, that I'm, commending. And if you have heard Pasuma on Christian songs before, in In fact, there was one album, I don't even know when I had that one, it was actually singing Highlife. As in Highlife. The scales on which was not on the Fuji scale, was proper Highlife. Like some kinds of Highlife that we basically used to sing, many years ago. Things, and he did it perfectly well. And he sang like Christian songs for over 15, 20 minutes. He was just singing hymns and coming and going out, and so it depends on who the person is and what he knows. That is what will determine whether we can say, this one is not just an artist, not just a singer, he's more than that. He's also a musician, he's has attributes of this and that. But like I said, it's not compulsory. It's just like, it's not compulsory that you have to be able to play an instrument as a musician. I've heard people come out and condemn you, say you are just a singer, you don't know how to play instruments. They compare them with people who can play instruments, who can also sing.
Because I think that argument came forward during Wizkid and Fela issue.
No, they don't have to. You see, Wizkid and Fela issue.
How can you say Wizkid is a Wizkid that cannot even play an instrument?
No,
Fela can play all instruments.
I won't even. I'm not even if I want to make any comparison and I want to look at the weak point of anybody. I won't come from the angle of he cannot play instruments. You don't have to. You understand? You don't have to be able to.
I don't need to ask you where you stood in the argument. I know already.
Of course, the gap is wide now. How can you be? All these people, all these children these days, they don't know. What do they know now? You understand? I don't blame them. Why will you be? I don't know. How can you? What is the basis of comparison with yourself? I don't understand. Wizkid, fantastic. He's a great guy. Good songs. He's doing well. It's just don't come and put him at a disadvantage by comparing him with somebody like Fela. Just let him stay where. Why do you bring him close? For God's sake, leave him where he is so we can celebrate him the way he is. The guy has done fantastically well for us in Nigeria. He has put us on the global stage. You understand? So he's good. Let's celebrate him like that. Don't come and compare him with. It's like you want to be comparing Messi with any other footballer. That's just the way it is. I know they will abuse me if they hear. But me. Well, if you like abuse me, how can you see CR7? But that's why I didn't mention his name. Because any other footballer. Messi is not human now. Messi is an alien. Don't you see? In fact, CR7 for me, he has achieved one of the greatest feats in life,
which is
by having himself being compared with Messi. That you are comparing him with Messi. Oti, in fact, you can't even. I'm telling you.
Interesting perspective. I like that.
Messi is, in fact, I think CR7 is being like it's unfair that you are comparing him with Messi. Very unfair to him.
How?
How can you be comparing a normal human being with Messi? Messi is not human now. Messi is a robot. Do you know the kind of things Messi does? If you take your time to watch Messi very well, you will see that when Messi is sitting down here, it's like he's seeing everything that is happening all around him, even behind his head. That's the way he is.
There are some moves that
Messi before receiving the ball has calculated like 4-5 moves ahead. Only one movement of his body, he can displace 2-3 players at the same time. Because he already read their body movement. I'm going beyond playing football now. Have you seen that video where Messi and somebody, somebody was in front of him and then they were kicking the ball to him, he was passing it back, like tossing the ball back and forth. Him and one person. And then somebody from behind threw another ball. Directly behind, there was no way he could have turned to see that the ball was coming. Till tomorrow, in fact, I was arguing. I said, this thing is not real. This had to be some manipulation, editing, we hadn't had AI as at that time. I would have said this was AI. But believe me, that thing was real. Somebody else threw another ball from behind, and Messi didn't look back, and he used his heel to kick the ball that was coming from behind, and he was still facing the person in front, still kicking the ball back to the person. How did he know something was coming from behind? I don't understand.
Those guys are.
You see, Messi makes difficult things, he makes it look easy. The other guy, when he does something small, something that is not, like this is difficult. Meanwhile, it's not. So people are falling for the propaganda. It's media propaganda. If you look at CR7's propaganda machinery, it's massive. Messi doesn't care about social media propaganda. So the propaganda, the looks, and of course, if you want to, I think people are really mixing these things up. You want to look at, leadership, and then role modelship. Is there anything like that? Let's adopt it now. Being a role model, leadership, and then somebody you can say, I want to be like, in terms of motivation, and then for the fact that he has the outlook, the social, the engagement, even speaks good English, at least. All those things contribute to the marketability and the acceptability of CR7's personality. Those are the many things, and then combined with the propaganda, the social media propaganda or media propaganda that he has. Every cartoon here and there, you see him there. All those things are, deliberate things that his media people team are doing, to push him, into the faces of everybody, which is good. So all those things are the reasons. So if you are not the type that can really sit down and separate these things and know who is the real person that is being, you might be confused. Especially if you are, if you haven't been watching football for a long time. So those are the things that this guy uses to deceive people and makes people think that he's not, that guy. For me, I think it's just FIFA should not have allowed somebody like, if they knew, should not have allowed him to play football. If he's playing against any team, it's supposed to be 11-11. They should add 2 or 3 more people to that team. It should be 11 versus 14. That is when it becomes normal. Any goal he scores, before they count 1 goal for him, he should have scored 3. They now say, one. Hey, my balance, man, because that guy is just.
Now let's quickly talk about one of the elephants in the room, because for a long time, Iwokolo Dami has been reigning, and of course the song was released 2001, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. The song was released 25 years ago, and this year we are still here in 2026, 25 years later, still talking about the song.
2002.
Yeah. So we are still here talking about the song after
24
years. So let's talk about the song. That song, like I was telling somebody, and I think I asked you the other time I was having a chat with you, that Kanipe, you are a secular musician. What was the inspiration behind the song? What was the inspiration behind that particular track?
Really, you see, there's this belief that people always have, that once there's a good song, then there's always something behind it, like a story, like some drama behind it, like something.
Like it was sleeping, just woke you up.
What inspired it must have been something very dramatic, something very emotional, something very challenging, something like a situation, and then it just happened. Well, maybe that happens, but even if that happens at all, the songs like that don't ever finish there. Start there and finish there. No. great songs are songs that there's a part of it that you are deliberate about. That you take time, check, recheck again, check, recheck again until it has finally become full project. You understand? If you want to do a proper song, not all these 20 minutes, 20 seconds, 10 seconds, or 2 minutes call and response that people do, and then they say they have not all those. If you want to do a proper song that has a complete identity, introduction, verses, maybe 1, 2, and 3, chorus, maybe a vamp, maybe a refrain, maybe a coda, some transitions, interludes, a complete package. It takes time. It doesn't start there and end there. So a situation like that, like people are asking, what was the inspiration? What happened? What was the matter? What was the drama? Can be a starting point for a song like that. And that's just it. Just a starting point. You receive the inspiration, you be inspired there, and then you work on it. And then until it is finished. Like Goke Bajowa now, it took, before I finished it, I think it took almost 6 months. I wasn't as if I was doing other things. So sometimes I would just leave it. I was composing and then I left it where I stopped. I don't receive it again until another maybe 2-3 weeks. Before I remember, let me continue again. Let me check what I have done so far and then come back. It's almost as if I sat down and then started doing it for
for that length of time.
Just straight like that, straight. So it wasn't as if anything happened that inspired it, in that context that you're asking. Even though after I composed it, things happened that really, really, further buttressed the point of that song to me, that is the reality of life. Corroborated that is the reality people pass through. I had always known that. People pass through. These things happen a lot. I've seen it many times on TV, reading novels, reading stuffs, live around my environment. So I decided I was going to make a song around this kind of things. You understand? So, and that was not the only song anyway. I have other songs like that are real life occurrences, real life phenomena, real life situations, things that happen to people, and then I would decide I want to make a song about it. That has always been me. Those are the most difficult things to do in compositions anyway. They are not your regular songs like love me, love me, love me, love me, baby. Partying all night. You understand? All those stuffs, and then the regular, let's praise God, hallelujah, or single, praise the Lord, all those the regular songs, the common topics. They are not like that. Yeah, those ones are relatively easier to compose.
It's not
So those difficult ones, I know that many people don't do it. There are lots of people who don't go that direction. So I decided I want to contribute more in that. So that had always been my mindset. That had always been my thought. So it was deliberate that I composed songs like that. So
on popular topics.
Yeah, on popular topics. So I deliberately started looking at topics that were not popular, that people can learn from. And I also wanted it to be rooted in the values of Christianity. You understand? So that was why I could have done the Goke Bajowa and not taken it to David and Goliath.
Yeah, it would have been a very beautiful song still.
But because I wanted it to minister, to have impact in the lives of Christians and non-Christians too. So it was deliberate to do the factor in the Bible, David and Goliath angle to it, to buttress the point, to corroborate it. So it was a deliberate thing that this is the topic that I want to compose about. So how do I start? Where do I go? What do I talk about? All those things. And I started. And like I said, that's not the only song. I have other ones. Like I'm talking to you now, I've been thinking lately now about when I've seen some old people that are very old, and then they are suffering from one ailment or the other, and then it's looking like life is not too sweet again. They're not feeling too good, but they're just managing their body, old age. And then you see some people not identifying with them at that level, not seeing what they are going through, the predicaments. They just think, it's just so. When old age is coming, it's coming to all of us. We that are still young now, we don't know what we are going to. I just hope when it gets to my turn, I'm not going to be like this. If there's anything I pray for, something like that, good health at old age. Is it possible? You understand what I'm saying? I'm already thinking I want to make a song after that. Imagine that topic.
I'm not sure I've ever had anything close to that.
Already I'm thinking I want to. So I've not figured out how to start yet, but I already have my mindset on that. And I'm going to do it. You understand? So it's just exactly like that. Just give you this one as an example to know how Dami 2 was, how Ari was, how Olomaje Shuri Beske was, how Ujumoere was, how Eshegoni was. There's this song. Timba for walk on Odaju mo ma rire gba o. Bisheti asho Jesu. Another one like that. About the woman with the issue of blood. What was special about the hem of Jesus' garment? Just garment now. All the disciples surrounding Jesus, moving with him, were they not touching his garment? They were holding him close, tight, pulling his clothes. Why didn't they receive anything? That garment, was there anything special about it? Of course not. Not the garment. There was something in that woman that every other person did. It wasn't the garment that did the miracle. It was the value that it played on the personality of Jesus. There was something extra in her that pushed her, that made her believe that only if I could touch this man. You understand?
Yeah.
That was what made the difference. And that was what that song was about. Look at that topic. Very unusual. Do you get it?
Yes.
So, many other songs like that. I still have a lamentation. So I have, not, it's just because that is the one that is very popular.
What do you think made it popular?
The song? Well, when you have a good song that is also commercial. There are good songs that are not commercial. When you have a good song and you also make it commercial, maybe averagely commercial, it's a matter of time. If you continue promoting it, it's going to hit it. Maybe not soon. It could be very long, depending on how much of promotions you're able to put on it. How much of you're able to hammer on it, of promotion, promotional activities. But it will hit it. You get it?
Yeah.
So, that was how that song happened, and now, it became popular as a result of promotions. There's no good song that you do that will not need promotions. You need fundamental, unless a miracle happens, especially with social media that we have now. Some things can just happen that are beyond you, that you can't even explain. Even some songs you will hear, you say, "What is this a song?" And you be everywhere.
Everybody has been singing Cheche Kule now that we don't even know what it means.
Things like that, they are beyond us. Those are exceptional cases. But I'm talking about normal situations now. When you have a good song, commerciality and depth, combined together. If you continue to push it, one day it will. So I was promoting the song. I did an averagely okay video, not a professional video, just concept and some, just did some, and then I put it on TV, put it on radio.
TV stations did justice to that.
And then Arira too, 2 songs then, So,
I was telling someone recently, I think I saw a conversation on social media. And I was telling the person that when the album came out, Arira was the major
one. This one overtook it.
It now, as in, over the years, I know Woko Dami has always been a fantastic track, but it was not the major track. Arira was the major track.
Arira is coming back too.
Yeah, because it was, can you imagine how the song, how it works, and how the thing came back to be. I remember that the last time we had the conversation, I was telling you, more like, I was not inciting you, but more like I've been telling you that people are on social media singing the song and people don't know that they are not the real owner of the song, and you keep telling me that day that at the right time.
At the right time, yes.
At the right time. I didn't know that time, the right time was almost close.
Yeah.
What prompted that your video?
You know, that right time, you know, like what you are saying now, people who have been singing this song, there are some of them who had been singing it for more than 6 years now, about 7 years, even more. According to him, he even said it was more than that when we were talking. That is one particular. So now, you see, at the right time, as I said, was because when we look at matters, we look at it from different perspectives. What we consider, they are very different. You, especially, that you told me many times that which is the correct thing anyway, fundamentally. And then like many other people, even from the legal field, you know, that came up and then they were like, you know, and they knew the history of the song and stuff like that. Yes. But the way I was seeing it, I saw it from different angles. Number one, is my song. And when you have a good song, it's your joy when people sing it. And it's impacting lives when people are making it popular. You understand? However, it's still not a license for doing things indiscriminately. But at least, while you are seeing some people abusing the opportunities, you still don't want to stop everybody from singing it because so many people are singing it. So at that point, you have to be careful, diplomatic. You have to be careful. Like presently, some people are asking me, Baba, ṣé ká má kọrin yín mọ́ ní báyìí? Ṣé ká má kọrin yín mọ́ ní báyìí? Torí pé, you know, nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀, a gbọ́ báyìí, a rí nǹkan báyìí, a rí. Meanwhile, that's not what we are saying, but they have misinterpreted it. I'm coming to that. Those are some of the things I'm trying to be careful about. I told them, I said, ask around. There are many guys that I've talked to myself. I saw them singing it and then I chatted them up. And I talked to them, this is how you do it. If you want to sing it, do it like this. This is where you went wrong. This is what you're trying to, you know, and then commending, you did well. This one, you understand? So if I didn't want people to, I wouldn't be doing that. You understand? But there are boundaries you don't cross. There are boundaries you don't abuse it beyond certain boundaries. We already know that it's not even right anyway. That everybody just sings, it's not right. But because of our society, let's just leave it, at least for now, until our space is very, very matured, and then we look at how we can put controls and, you know, controls and protections around it so that everybody benefits. But when it gets to a point where somebody is now trademarking it for himself, an artist has a set of fans who are unreasonable, and then they are trademarking it for their favorite artist. I mean the fans now. And then of course there are a few who understand these things, but majority, they don't understand this. They think, what's the big deal? You understand? Their line of thought off. They don't even know what we're talking about at all. They don't have an idea. No education in terms of copyright matters. Now, when you see them, you want to be like, this guy is trademarking these things. Like making it like it's his signature tune. He wants to mount the stage. Fans are singing the intro of the song to him. At that point, and then he comes to the stage. They ask him sing the song. He doesn't tell them, okay, I'll sing it, but shout out to so and so person acknowledged. You want to sing it as a special number. You took your time to explain. It's a special, like your national anthem. You call it, you describe it that much, and you can't mention the name of the source where the song is coming from. And they are trademarking it for you, and they are using like a signature tune for you, and you are not telling them how the song came about. At that point, there's a problem. That was the point where I came out. So much that it was sounding like you wanted to advertise an album launch. Your album launch and launch of maybe musical instrument or something. It's special program, and you were using that song to advertise the version that you sang, not my own. So how am I sure that it's not as if you are going to remix it and put it in your album that you want to launch? You understand? So when it gets to that level, the boundaries have been crossed. You understand? The privileges have been abused, at that point, what we needed to do at that time was to make people know that this guy is not the owner of the song. We just let it go so far for so and so reasons. Legal action will not do that at that time. Legal action will take time. It will, and then nobody will know except the person who is the culprit and whoever is around him. They are the ones that will know that they sued him, he's paying damages to so. If we don't make it public, nobody will know. But that's not what I needed at that time, which I might not even told that lane anyway, because people will always come in and plead and beg and say which is already happening. You understand? So let people know, all his fans and everybody who doesn't know yet that song is not, let them know now that it's not his song. That was very, very important at that time. That was what was needed. That was why the social media, that video that you're asking about, that was why it was necessary. Within few days, it had gone viral. People had already seen it. So people, because like lots of people, it's easy for you to assume that it's a popular song now. Everybody knows who sang the song now. But
because you know.
Because you know. But there are lots of people
who do not know.
And then I'm sure he himself found out that so I won't come at you Moloto. That is if he had not known before, if he was not pretending, as if he didn't know. And they didn't know. And then people who didn't even know that it was wrong initially for you to perform somebody's song unauthorized. Lots of people don't know.
Up to now, many people still don't know.
You know what people kept saying? They were saying, Shebi is a repertoire. Repertoire artists don't have their own songs now. They sing other people's songs. That's a normal thing. That's their mindset. That's what they think. But it is wrong. You are a repertoire artist. You sing other people's songs. You understand? Do you sing it indiscriminately? Do you sing it unauthorized? No. There are protocols. There are ways to do it. There are protections. There are controls around the songs. You understand? There is a way you do it in a way that when you are benefiting from it, in terms of, morally, financially, all ramifications, the person who owns the song is also benefiting. It's not that some people will be thinking you are the owner of the song while you are not. You understand? That is where the things like acknowledgements, like credits when you are posting, like proper authorization before you even sing it at first. People don't know. People are just looking at social media regulations, policies. When you are using social media now, for instance, there are some platforms there. The moment you subscribe to it, you are using it. I can use your song. Maybe you do a cover for it. The moment you subscribe, you are using it. You are already agreeing that the policies are there. Any other person can use your song to do this, and there will be regulations, maybe 1 minute 30 seconds. There is a minimum. All those things. Those are what these people are looking at. They don't know that the Nigerian space has its own copyright laws. Nigeria has its own copyright laws that are different from all those. Part of it is that it's an offense for you to perform somebody's song without authorization. Perform it and record it. You understand? Even performance alone, where there's an evidence of performance.
I have an event idea I've always wanted to do, and I've started working on it this year. But then I've been slowing down because when I did my research and realized how many
infringement
licenses I will need to stage that show, because it's not just going to be a show, to be a show that will be recorded and then that will be broadcast and will put on monetized platforms and everything.
In fact, before you even monetize it, the fact that you recorded it alone.
Exactly. Before you even perform it, because it's going to be a public performance. Before they perform it at the event, I need this thing from this, I need that. And I just have to calm down.
However, the place where it is easy for musicians now is this. When you get those licenses, it's like a lease. If you come to me now, if I come to you now, I want to use your song. I'm a repertoire artist. I want to be using your song. I like that song. If I get the authorization from you, you can give me that for like 10 years, 5 years. So between now and the next 10 years or so, I don't have to come back to you again. It's already been cleared. Whatever I want to do in that midst, we will have done it. You understand? If you want to renew it at any point, you can renew. You understand? But most times the person says, you know all those things. And if you don't bring anything at the body, say, you know all those things that we can. And alone, because you are not the only person. There are lots of people using it. So everyone 1 naira, 1 kobo from here converging at some point. Consolidated. That's where
I know is that an artist that has an evergreen song, classic like that, in other climes of the world, the person may not do any other thing.
I'm telling you.
that one is enough.
If things are properly done and you consolidate properly, properly consolidated, is enough for you to live on for the rest of your life.
I have one of my boss that does a podcast like this, and he was at some point he was sued for using the image of Sikira and the Barrister. His estate sued him, and up till date, you can't just do anything with Sikira and the Barrister's song without getting clearance and getting something paid. And that is what we are talking about. That's what we are talking about.
That's why I was that was what I was telling all these people. You know, recently I began to see some when this feud between me and this Boye guy happened. You know, and then I saw people saying, "Na money matters now." Baba ti binu, but Baba ti dakensin, Baba ti gbowo, you know all those stuff. I didn't collect any dime from him. Nothing. I didn't even put any demand on him. I didn't even tell him go and pay this amount. If I wanted to go that route, I wouldn't be discussing. You understand? I would press the legal buttons, and then you understand. But I didn't even decide I wanted to go that route anyway.
Why?
You get it? Now, you see, let me quickly educate people on this. What we are talking about, like you said now, it's not about one person. How much will he pay me? It's not just about one person. That is it the only... there are many more of his type that will still come out in the future. So let's tidy up things from the start so that every person who falls in that category, as you are benefiting, you know, your part, every 1 naira that is supposed to come to me is from millions of people across, and then it will be consolidated, and it will run for generations consistently. That is what we are talking about, not one person that I'm looking at now. So it's not just about him, but let's put things right from here now, so people can see, so that we can set the trend going, and then things can be put right. Everything can normalize, and then everything begins to fall in place as time goes on. That's why is the example that we are using now. So you cannot do it like this. Let us set these things right.
But like you rightly said,
so many people can begin to know.
It was an assumption, because we saw. I saw the video too. You were at his album launch, and everything, and you were on stage there too. You performed the song together. So many people believe that marks what's it called? The end of every conversation.
Yes, that he had paid. No, you don't. That's not. He didn't pay anything. He didn't pay any dime. I didn't ask him for anything. I didn't, insist I was going to collect. There's more to this thing than that. This is just the starting phase. Maybe that could come up later. I'm not sure. Depending on how it relates, depending on how he handles the matter. Maybe, I'm not sure. But that's not, for me, that's not, we are talking about everyone 1 kobo, everyone 1 naira that are coming, that come from multiple sources that generations can benefit from, even after I am gone. That is the that is the power of intellectual properties. That's the power of creativity. Many people don't understand these things. They're just talking about no,
it doesn't work.
No, we just needed to douse that tension at that point. You saw me at this program. The reason for going to that program was because he has done what is right by apologizing. Did you see the apology video?
Yes, I saw. I think I saw it twice.
Yeah, he did one first that was not proper. That he was trying to explain that it wasn't his fault. That it was so it wasn't his fault. That somebody posted the video.
I saw
outside of his authorization, and he didn't even know when the person posted. That was an explanation. That's not an excuse, because this thing we are talking about it spans beyond now. Since way back, it has been happening. So it's a total package. So I said, do another video, a proper one. People need to learn. They need to know that you are wrong, as you yourself know now, so that we won't cause confusion. That is the only time we can move forward. Because you already called me. Many people called me on his behalf. Lots of people that I knew, that were even my friends. Just Adeton called me from Lagos. Prophet Taiwo Ojo called me. He's a father figure in the Christian fold. ID Kabasa called me. Adeni Johnson of Nollywood. Alayo Melody from Lagos. All kinds of people. They called me, and even some of my friends from the US Navy that I didn't even know he knew them somehow. Whether I went to go and find out, I don't know how he got to know them. Akile called me, Somi Dairo from the US, and many guys from here and there. Some of his representatives from Canada, they called. So I could not ignore all those people, and they were people that I knew as well. So that was one of the reasons I was telling you that I knew. That was it. I said at the right time, I knew these things will happen. They will step in and they will plead, and you will not be doing too well to ignore the plights of people like that. Imagine somebody like Prophet Uju calling me on somebody's behalf, and then I ignore. I can't do that. You get it? So I knew I was going to get to that. So that's why I was slow, very slow about taking drastic steps ever since this thing had started. So where am I going now? When all those people called me, some of them now suggested that I should please go to his program to do some damage control, because already he had been badly damaged on social media. People now came out. People who had known me with the song since way back, who had been expecting me to speak out all these days, they now came out for him. So it really damaged him. His fans too were talking, and then but everybody already saw the picture of what was happening. So at that point, and then he had apologized, which was a good one. Like I said, he did what was right there. So I needed to encourage him for doing what is right, or what was right. So the idea that I should come to his program, that his people were suggesting, and that he also suggested to me that I should please come if I could make it, made sense to me, because he already, showed that he had done what was right. So I wanted to encourage him and then do the damage control too. At least I'm the one that is holding him, pinning him down to something now, an accusation now, and now I'm here for him. So at least people say, no, but you don't want that dancing, okay, all those stuff. So that was why I went. Not because of money, not because he paid me anything. He didn't pay me anything. In fact, the money that was supposed to take care of my logistics for going there, at least I didn't bill him for a performance. Like normally I want to come for a show, this is what we are going to pay. I didn't do that. I just said take care of my logistics. I'm coming with a 10-man team, or maybe 11 people or so. I'm going to put 2 of my cars on the road and fuel 2 cars, or maybe 3, and then hotel bills, I will take care of that. I will feed my people. All those things are the expenses I'm going to be spending. So let's discuss it and then send the money to take care of that. Not an official charges for any show. He didn't do that before I went. Even though he said, okay, yes, that's true, I will do that. And then but because the show was very close, it was just a day to it, or by 2 days to it, that they were now suggesting that I should come. So it was an impromptu arrangement. So I didn't put the pressure of that. It's been sealed. You will do it, yes. I'll just give you the breakdown. So I didn't even insist that he had to send it before. So I went. I spent the money myself. If I wanted to collect money, if it was because of money, that was the time I would have told him, I told about some 5 million meaning, because I already saw it like, I would have seen it like he was desperate to have me. I would capitalize on that, take advantage of that. I didn't do that. I spent my money, over 400,000 that I spent to fuel my cars, to put my people in the hotels, about 4 or 5 rooms, feed them twice, because we stayed overnight. In the afternoon, in the evening, I fed my people. When they were going home, musicians now, I have to pay all of them. You understand? There was another guy that came from Oshobo, like a police escort, a friend who was in the police force. He went with me. You understand? So a younger brother actually went with me. I fueled his car too. At least I subsidized his fueling from Oshobo to Abeokuta. So altogether I spent over 400,000. I didn't ask a dime from him. I knew he was going to refund my money because we already settled that. That was not unofficial charges. Just take care of my logistics. You understand? He didn't pay the money back until after 5 days. I'm saying this because I want people who are saying that it's because of money or anything to know that it's not because of money. I footed all those expenses myself. Even the money that he paid, it was not up to what I spent. The money he sent at the end of the day to cover for my logistics was not up to what I spent. And
the statement was made that it's not about you. I'm not
personal.
It's not something personal.
You understand? So I needed to do some damage control because he did what was right. He had showed remorse or remorsefulness by doing that video. I wanted to encourage him that was a good one. So I'm coming for your program. so that people can learn, people can see. So next time somebody wants to start singing somebody else's song unauthorized, they will understand that okay, wọ́n kàn fún mi privilege ni o, kì í ṣe pé bóyá right mi ni láti máa kọ. Like those people who are saying ṣebí we are repertoire artists. He's a repertoire. He doesn't have his own songs. He's a repertoire, so he can sing anybody's song. No, it's not like that. There are controls, there are measures digitally and mechanically that are put around songs, to make sure that these things are regulated. There are regulations. Part of it is the authorization we are talking about. So it's not right. You can't just pick on anybody's song. We just leave it. That's why I was telling you when I was saying the right time. I'm waiting for a time when at least we have a reasonable number of people who will have come to terms with these realities that these things don't work like this. All those times when these things started 5-6 years ago, it was still very bad. People don't even have as much the orientation as they have now about copyright matters. So if you had taken it, to the social media at that time or made noise about it, people will not even understand at all. Because of the mindset. And I knew when the society is wrong, you who is right, it will be very difficult for you to prove that you are right. Definitely. So sometimes you just let it go. And then again, you look at okay, they are singing it, okay. I'm publicize a lot, And like I said, there are lots of other people singing it. It's not the only one. If he had not taken it to the extreme like this, like abusing it this much, like trying to trademark it, trying to make it a signature tune, trying to cross the lines like this, maybe I wouldn't have talked. He would still have been singing it like every other person. You understand? So I'm not saying people should not sing my song, just like every other person who have good songs out there. There are many people who have great songs, more than 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are people who have more, and people are singing it, and they are happy that people are singing it, even though it's not right. But that's our society. Yeah. So let's just leave it, at least for now, and let's be finding ways to put regulations, controls around it, so that when somebody else is benefiting from it in terms of fame, name, everything, the other person who has the song too is not being sidelined.
Exactly,
that's what we are saying. So nobody is saying don't sing my song. No, if you have a good song, you cannot sing it. The whole world will sing it with you. Definitely. Which is the beauty of it. So that's what we are saying. So people don't know all these things. So that's why I said we have lots of work to do. I'm telling you, I was telling ID Kabasa when he called me on phone when this matter was very hot, and he was trying to brief me on some things, and then trying to explain some things that he also knew, and then how he felt I should handle it and stuff like that, and things that I might not have done before I should do, which I had done anyway, that he didn't know. So, and then being somebody that I'd known for quite a while, that somebody that had always appreciated my jobs, and that, wow, that's powerful. Yeah, my God, this song is, he's a powerful musician himself. Yes, very good musician. It's fantastic. Yes, sir. You understand? So when he sees good jobs, good stuff, he knows. You understand? So I was telling him that we have work to do. He is a copyright specialist. There are lots of things that he knows on copyright matters. Baba, our people need lots of orientation. You can imagine lots of that guy's fans were saying, I should be happy, I should be celebrating him because he helped me to sing my song. He helped me to popularize the song. So I should be celebrating him. So I'm the one that should be celebrating him. You get what I'm saying? This song, many of them, they don't know when the song came out. A song that several awards had collected for this song. This one that is helping me to popularize now. A song that even if it's a dog that God wants to use to popularize, God can use it because of the potential the song already had, because it had already gone wide and far before. A song that professors and doctors from their universities had sent their final year students to go and write final year projects on top of the song. That song was their case study. It has happened more than 5-6 times. From OAU, from UI, from Polybado, from College of Education, that maybe schools around Nigeria. That same song. That's the song that somebody is now helping me to popularize. So a song that had been celebrated all over the world, that professors and doctors have sent their students to go and write this project, final year project. That was their case study. Go and study Prince Goke Bajowa and this song. About 2 or 3 of my songs like that, severally, more than 5-6 times. You understand? That is the song that these people are now telling me that is somebody that's helping me to popularize. I'm talking of things that had happened between the years of 2007 and 2015. All these school projects that I'm talking about. Songs that I've delivered seminars on. Gone to a show to deliver seminar. Broke it down, PCC it, explain it, scored it. That choirs have performed. But because there was no social media, so many of them don't know. So they come out and they say, he helped me to popularize it. I should go and say. If I asked one of his friends, when I got to Abeokuta, there was one particular guy that made one particular comment. I noted his name, pinned him down. I said, I'm coming. I will let you ask. So let me don't use any silly word here. I'm coming for you. There was one comment he made. I said, I looked at his face. I said, Papa, you're more day now. Any you Gen Z, and you go to survive. But you need the lecturing. So I went. When I got there, I now looked for him. I told somebody, I said, go and look for. So I showed him his picture. I said, I know him. Yeah, I now sat him down. He was now looking at me. He was like, he already knew that. She beat it down. But I now told her, I said, I didn't even flare up anyway. And I asked him a question. I said, if you have a compound, your own compound, I now used your compound as a passageway. There's a main road, but I didn't pass there because your compound would provide a shortcut. I now passed your compound to the nearest place I was going, so that so because I was now wearing one beautiful lace and one new shoe that nobody has ever seen in this life. I wore it inside your compound. I now passed. I didn't greet anybody. Am I the one that was supposed to greet you because I passed through your compound, or you greet me because I was one big man doing you favor by passing through your compound? How should it have gone? He said, no, you are, regardless of what you are, whoever you are, you should greet me first now. Courtesy now. I'm a Yoruba person now. Are you sure? You are sure I'm not the one that's supposed to? You are not the one that's supposed to greet me? Me, big man. You understand? Because I have so many fans all over the world. So I should be the one that will. He said, no, it's you that should greet me because it's my company. I said, hey. So that was that comment you passed. That's what you are saying. Somebody used my song. You are saying I should be the one celebrating him for using my song, when he should have been the one to have paid homage,
which cost nothing.
Didn't you see the video? And what's that man's name?
Bright Shimeze.
Yeah. Didn't you see Adekunle Good and Dr.
Ayefele and Ayuba?
You understand? How did it play out? Look at what's this guy that does comedy? That does one funny dance with his big belly and pom pom like this. That guy that always usually wears green top like this.
Okay.
Brain Jota. And check how it played out now. If anybody wants to say, I'm not going to pay homage.
We even saw the video of
it should be those guys.
And Victor Laya.
Two-Face and Victor Laya. Look at all those things.
We see all this.
So that's the normal thing. You don't know what
Olamide and K1 the ultimate. Just use Omani for what and it was his song.
You think
just use that line and he still paid homage.
You think it's easy for people to say this song is legendary? You don't know what it means.
An evergreen classic.
A classic, and I don't want to sound like blowing my own trumpet, but that's the reality.
It. It's not.
You understand? So you are the one that will now tell me that it's somebody that is making it popular. Who is playing God out of you and him? That is, because without you the song will not be. A song that had any song that already made waves can make waves any other time again if you spark the fire. So I may have decided or not have done what I'm supposed to do for certain reasons. Anytime I wake up that I want to push this thing again, because it already has all the elements that are required, it will come out again. I don't need anybody to do that. It could just be,
one content creator somewhere can just go back and pick a line. I remember when this guy blew Francis Odega, get out of here, man, shit. An old film, somebody just used that particular clip and 50 Cent reposted it. As 50 Cent reposted it like this, boom.
So if it happened with you, that means you are just privileged that it happened with you. It could have been any other person.
The right thing to do.
The foundation, the works from the foundation have already been settled by God. So anybody could come into it and just. So if you are now the one that God is using to bring it back, it is not. It doesn't now automatically become your, like, you are the one who is. No. Why do people think like that?
So do all these things now mean that because what everybody thought online was that the matter don't settle, so everybody don't go back.
Well, I'm not going to say that it's not settled, as long as the person in question already knows where he's faulty.
Have you guys been talking since after then?
I think I saw about 1 or 2 missed calls, but I've not returned this really, but it's not, it was just an oversight. We might, maybe, I'm not sure, was it before or after then that I saw the missed calls? I'm not sure, but I'm not paying attention to that anyway. What I just needed to do at that time, I've done it. Set the record straight. Alaye, it is a mistake, retrace steps. Now let him start retracing his steps now. So it all depends on how it plays out from him. The process of retracing his steps, the process of doing things right, henceforth, all those things will now define how we move on from here. But at the moment, the idea that you had been doing something wrong over these years, had not been talking, now I'm angry with you because of this, that tension temporarily has been doused. That was why I said, now you have proven to me that people say you are a good person. Okay, let's see. It looks like you are a good person. So from here henceforth, let's see how it happens. So we might, even if you do well, very well, we might even go as far as doing a remix for you, as in featuring you there. And then you can even stream it and then put it on streaming platform for your fans to, since they love you with the song, why not? It will still all depend on how he's able to manage the situation with his own disposition. I mean, his own, what is the word now? Let's say behaviors and how he attends to matters. You understand? Yeah. As relating to that. You understand? For instance, now, many times he had sang the song, posted it, not acknowledging all those things. You understand? Henceforth, if he continues to sing it, we want to see how it's going to be. How it's going to be doing, how it's going to be, acknowledging, giving credits, all those stuffs, and then the moral side too, the Omoluabi side too. You understand? I may be waiting to see how he's going to handle it, what he's going to do. Like he personally told me, Baba, I know what I will look at it properly. We'll look into it properly. I know that I'm owing you a lot and stuff like that. You understand? So if those things, are followed through, in a way that is acceptable, why not? There won't be problems. So I am hoping it's going to, be like that.
Let's hope so. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been random with Prince Goke Bajowa, and this has been a very, 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 very wonderful one. In fact, if you ask me, I would say we have 2 sessions in one. We had music class, and then we have contemporary issues, and it's a beautiful one. I want to say a very big thank you to you for coming. I want to say a very big thank you to you for doing all you've done and all you are still doing. I want to say a very big thank you to you for being a shining light, because trust me, it is good and it is easy, it is better to point to people who have done things right. Now, if I'm telling anybody that you need to give your best to any of your production, I have samples. I have example in you to say, if you do a quality song 20-25 years after, people will still be talking about the song will still be relevant and the talk of the town. And that's exactly an example that you've given us with all your songs. Thank you so much. So finally, this is your trumpet. Why do you pick trumpet in all the instruments that we have?
Well, you see, I like the trumpet, but it was not my best instruments.
How many do you have?
Trumpets. All the ones I've had, it will be more than 30.
Trumpets?
Yes, that I've given out over the years. But presently, maybe 3 now. Or 4. 3.
So you're trying to explain why you prefer the trumpet?
You see, trumpet was, for me, it was one of the instruments I liked because many of the artists I used to listen to.
Was difficult?
Well, it is relatively.
Because if you put that in, go come out. It's no sound go come out. Or if you don't know how to.
No, it's a technique. It won't come out. Most likely, it won't come out. And if it comes out,
I've tried it before. It did not come out.
Very, very rough. That is for somebody who's just learning, who has never blown it before. So, what was I saying? It wasn't the instrument I loved most. Maybe I would say it was like number 2 or 3 for me. I really loved the guitar, then. But how I started playing the trumpet was actually I think it was divinely arranged. Because the person who taught me this trumpet just came to our church then. Like one of our officers just came and was an officer with the Boys Brigade. You know Boys Brigade? I did Boys Brigade too.
I did Royal Ambassador.
Royal Ambassador, it's the same, almost the same. Play drums, play trumpet, keyboard, all kinds of musical instruments. So I was in the Boys Brigade, and then when the guy came, he was a trumpeter. He used to play, I think, bass guitar too, and a bit of keyboards too, and then recorder. What was the one we call Food? The real name is recorder anyway. It was that guy that insisted that he wanted me to play the trumpet, and that was how I started playing the trumpet. Now, coincidentally or divinely arranged, the kind of music I was going to be playing as a musician happened to be such that always had the trumpet as its lead instrument, which was Highlife. If you check all Highlife musicians, you'll see many of them. Even if they were not playing it, they had somebody on lead trumpet who was.
I don't know anybody. I know Victor Laya.
Victor Laya, yes, now. Victor Laya, Victor Waifo, Esinana, Eddie Okunta, Crossdale Juba, all those guys. Adiolu Akisoya, Roy Chicago, Tunde Nightingale, maybe, Bobby Benson. All those guys were Highlife musicians. So if they were not trumpeters themselves, you will see one lead trumpeter behind. Trumpet was one dominant instrument in Highlife, and of course other horns.
So God prepared you ahead.
So when that guy came and he was imposing this trumpet on me that he wanted me to do, I didn't understand. But I did it anyway. It wasn't as if I didn't like it. I liked it, but I just liked the guitar more than it. But all the same, I just I sat down, and then later I understood why God did that. So that was when I understood that it wasn't just that guy working. It was actually God. That brought him and then made sure that that man's name is Zacchaeus Bukola Ezekiel. He's a big brother. He's somebody I really respect and honor so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you once again for coming. We sincerely appreciate you. And that will be the end of Random for this week. Don't forget to do what? Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to drop your comment and tell somebody about this platform. But before we go, every trumpet go ajad. Thank you.